All right, let's get started here today, gang. Let's go. So main notes on percent basics, man. Let's go. Everybody hit me, man. Percent means out of ¿qué? What number? ¿Qué número? What number is it going to be? Percents are always out of what? What is it? What is it? What is it? It looks like the chat box knows. We got some hundreds over here, some hundreds over there, some hundreds everywhere. This is like Oprah Winfrey. There you go. Hand them out. Cool. Yes, percent means out of 100. Percent absolutely means out of 100. And everybody, it's in the name. It's in the name. Let me go ahead and just really show you. Everyone, quick question. How many cents are in a dollar? Oh, okay, okay. So you're telling me that we have per, so for every cent, 100. Look at that. I think it's right there in the name. So there are these clues and definitions hidden everywhere in math. Just want to make sure that you understand that we're not always trying to name things in math to confuse you. A lot of the times the names make sense, like slope. That's also another one that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, just want to make sure that you don't get intimidated by math just because of the words. The words a lot of the times make sense. But let's go ahead and talk about how to find the percent of a number. So here's the thing. Quick question one more time. Yes or no, have you ever gotten confused on when to multiply or divide when it comes to percents? Just yes or no. Have you ever gotten confused on knowing when to multiply or when to divide? There has not been a single no here. It's been yeses, and I love the humbleness. Same here. I've gotten confused too. When I was younger and still learning this stuff in high school and my early college, when we had to apply it a lot, sometimes I had to be like, okay, wait, hold up again, forward, backwards. But now these days, I've developed some techniques to make sure that you know what to do every single time. And I'm going to share that with you. So when you are trying to find, everybody write this down. When you are trying to find the result, you are going forward to get to the end, the result. And so you're multiplying. Whenever you're trying to find the original number, you're working backwards and you will divide. Don't worry about me writing this down. I'm going to show you in a few moments right over here. So don't worry about it. I'm going to show you all those words in a quick moment. But let's go ahead first and really just kind of reacclimate ourselves to the idea of actually calculating. All right. So again, when you're finding the percentage of a number, we are multiplying. Everybody, what does the word of mean in math? Hardest question of the day. Go ahead. What does the word of mean? So I have 6 pairs of socks, or, multiplying. Now, everybody, what does the phrase out of mean? So we're never going to write that down for sure. Remember, gang, the word of means multiply. The phrase out of, that means divide. All right, write that down. If you didn't know that, definitely a big piece of information that you're going to want to know moving forward. The word of means multiply. The phrase out of means divide. So I don't want anybody here to get confused about this, especially when you're doing word problems. Again, overlooking one word could make the difference between adding or multiplying and dividing. Now, let's go ahead and really get into this example over here. And again, just start acclimating ourselves to this idea. So before you multiply, these are some things that you need to make sure you do. 1, convert the percent to a decimal. Convert the percent to a decimal. Now I'm going to show you some mental math techniques that are going to be very useful. But long story short, when you're converting the percent to a decimal, remember that percents are out of what number again? Percents are out of what again? What was that again? Yeah, 100. You guys are quick today, man. You guys are quick today. They're out of 100. And so everybody, just think about it like this. What does out of mean again? What is that out of? What does that phrase mean again? I got some amnesia, man. What's going on again? Out of means what? Yeah, divide. Out of means divide. That's why when you convert to a decimal, divide by 100. Divide by 100. because it's out of, divide by 100. Is that making a little more sense for anybody in terms of actually understanding why we do these things? Because one thing you need to learn about me is that I am big on understanding why. I hate being taught something and memorizing it without actually understanding it. When you're taught to memorize, you forget very quickly. So let's make sure we're putting in that time and putting in the effort to understand the why. All right. So again, because it says out of 100, to convert to a decimal, you divide by 100 because it's out of 100. And so shortcut rule, nice and easy. Just move the decimal to the 2 times to the left. Just move it 2 times to the left. So for example, let me just zoom in over here. If we're taking 50% of 20, that's simply going to be, grab that decimal, 1, 2, right there. And that's where you get that decimal for 0.5, 0.50, 0.5, 50 hundredths, whatever you want to say. But then you multiply and you do your thing. So I got a question, everybody. What do we do here when we are multiplying? We have 20 times 0.5. You can say 0.50, but 0.5 is the same thing. Don't worry about it. Same thing. But when we multiply here and we do our thing, 2 times 0, or excuse me, 0 times 5 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. What's the one thing we need to make sure we do at the end? Right, we need to move the decimal back. Remember, you will bring the total number of decimal placeholders back. Always bring the decimal placeholder back. So what does that mean? Right over here, let me grab a different color. If I use purple right here, if I see that I have, okay, the decimals for 20 is right there, so there's nothing needed to be done, but I have 1 decimal place right there. So what you'll do is you'll bring that 1 decimal back. And that's why your answer will be 10. So one of these little things that we always need to make sure that we are doing, when you are multiplying by a decimal, make sure to bring the total number of decimal places back. Really easy to forget, but it's also one of the easier things to really ingrain with that practice. So I want to touch on one thing before we move forward, because today is not just about calculating percents mindlessly. It's about doing it effectively. It's about being able to do this quickly. So everybody, yeah, Ryan, absolutely. Go ahead, take a screenshot, man. Do your thing. So everybody, I got a question real quick. When it comes to 50%, like intuitively, when you think about like real life, you know, if you hear that something is 50% full or 50% there, what does that mean to you? Like in English, what does 50% mean to you in English? Half. Okay. Okay. I want to see if everybody agrees with that. Can we agree that 50% means half? Just want to make sure that we can all agree on that before we move forward. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. So here's the idea, everybody. If 50% is half, everybody, what's half of 20? Okay. 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 Is anybody here seeing where I might be going with this today? Is anybody seeing where I might be going with this today? Yeah. So there are mental math things that you can do. Alicia, you're making me laugh. So there are certain things you can do here to, again, speed up the time it takes you to perform these calculations. And I'm going to show you all of the different ways that I know that I believe you can handle today. And then I will be making more videos down the road to give you the more complex mental maths. But today it's going to be all about the simplicity. So here's that slide I was talking to you about earlier. Please go ahead, screenshot this, write it down. But if you're going to screenshot, just let me. All right, cool. So hopefully you got enough time to take a screenshot there. But we're going to talk about this real quick here. We got 2 things to know. When to work forward, what do we do? When we're working backwards, what do we do? Remember, everybody, to get to the results, you multiply to get to the result. Every time, everybody. To move forward to get the result, you are multiplying. If you are trying to find the original number, the number that you started with, the number that you took the percentage of, you're working backwards. And everybody, what is working backwards from multiplying? Hit me. You divide. Exactly. To work backwards from multiplying, you divide. And so if they give you the result and you need to find the original, again, that is where you divide because you're working backwards. Again, this is for the original. This is for the original. So let me give you two examples of what this looks like using the exact numbers that we just used right here. Watch this. So working forward in a forward manner, this is what you would see. What is 50% of 20? What is 50% of 20? Everybody, do you notice how, first of all, there's so many different ways that we can tell this. Notice how they're saying, what is all of this? So already what you're looking for is by itself. That means that that's the result. It means that that's what you're going to get to. You're going forward there. Here's another way. Here's number two. Do you notice how it says 50% of 20? Of meaning what again? What does of mean again? Right, multiply, exactly. The word of means multiply. So 50% of 20, you're multiplying 50% and 20 to get the results, working forward. That's another way that you can see it. That's another way you can see it. And if you wanted to write that down with multiplication, you could. What? So you can say x is equals 50%, 0.50 of times 20. Right there. That's another way that you can just lay it out. You can translate the English into math. But I know that a lot of us are here already kind of comfortable with forward. I bet you're looking at the backwards like, okay, Anderson, what does that look like? What is that vomit-inducing swirl of words supposed to look like? I got you. So let me go ahead and grab green, and let me show you what it would look like backwards. Let me show you backwards here. So if we said 10 is 50% of what number? I know my big old head might be in the way pretty soon. Okay, we're good. So boom, this is how it would look if you stated it backwards. 10 is 50% of what number? Notice this. Notice this. 10 is black. You already have the results. And guess what that's going to be? The original number. And so in this case, exactly. Absolutely, you would divide. Absolutely. So to work backwards there, you would just say, hey, I'm going to take 10, divide that by 50%, divide that by 0.5, and we're good. And we're good. So don't worry here. We're going to have plenty of examples. I'm going to show you plenty of ways to do this. We're going to get plenty of time practice. We're going to feel really good about it. But I got to make sure that before we begin, are we feeling pretty good about this so far? Again, being able to identify if we're going forward or going backwards. That's really the first step. Not the calculation, not the mental math. It's really just identifying. So are we feeling a little comfortable with this? To work forward, you'll have both numbers with of in the middle. So the numbers are connected to get the result. But if you don't see that, if you see 50% of what number, well, then I don't know what that original number is. That means I already have the result. So I'm working backwards. And again, we're going to go ahead and work through a couple of example problems. So no worries, Curran, excuse me. Curran, we're going to go ahead and look at some examples here. Same thing with you, Scarlett. I got you. Let's go ahead and take a look-see. So first, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the straightforward way. Then I'm going to pop in some mental math where we can. Okay. So first, let's just guide ourselves together here with 3% of 64. Everybody, are we working forward or backwards here? Hey, no worries, Kai. I appreciate you letting me know, man. Hope you feel better. Yeah, we're going forward here because we're saying, again, the word of, we're multiplying this and this. So we are indeed, let me use red here to be consistent. We are indeed moving forward because we're saying this percent of that number. What's the result? What's the result? Working forward. And so everyone, what we'll do is we'll have 0.03. Everybody, again, the word of means what? multiplication, and then 64. So pause for a second. It is not going to be 0.3. No, 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 no. It's going to be 0.03. So what you're going to do, remember, is you're going to take that decimal place. How many times do you move it, everybody? Twice. If you move it one time, you get 0.3. If you move it the second time, that's where you get the 0.03. So remember, move the decimal place twice, 2 times, dos veces, due times. I don't know how to say that in, I think that was Italian or French. I'm not sure. Don't kill me. But there it is. 2 times to the left. 2 times to the left. And so with that, Martine, sounds good. We're going to go ahead and do that Martine times. So 2 times. Almost sounds like you're saying martini. That sounds awesome. So with that, here we are, 0.03 multiplied by 64. We're going to go ahead and put in that work now, and we're good. So we'll do it here. 64 multiplied by 0.03. And let's just take our time here. But before we do, everybody, when we're done, how many times are we moving the decimal place back? Twice. We're moving it back twice because we have 2 decimal places right there. Keep that in mind. It's just simple things to take care of. Obviously, it's a few steps, but just notice these little things before you do it. That way you can feel confident that you're supposed to do it later on. So here we go. 4 times 3, that's going to give us that 12. Carry the 1. Everybody, 6 times 3, hit me. Right on, it's going to give us that 18. Then we carried that 1, so it's going to give us 19. And we already said it, so let's just go ahead and do it. We told ourselves that we would move that decimal place back once, twice. So here, once, twice, boom. And our answer will be 1.92. There we have it. And there we have it. So that's one example. Again, we have plenty of examples to go through, but that is one way to do it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move forward here into the second one now. 31% of 24. 31% of 24 right up here. So everybody, when we convert the 31%, what should that look like as a decimal? Go. Quick. What should that look like as a decimal? And the question from Frida, do you always have to move, or do you always move the decimal twice once you get the answer? So Frida, this is where I don't want you to start memorizing. I want you to understand here. We moved a decimal place twice because there were 2 decimal places here. Okay? You always look at every situation. You have to count. Typically, it might be 2, but you have to pay attention to what it's asking you, what it's giving you. That way you can make the right call. So here, 24 and 31%, we're going to turn this into 0.31 multiplied by 24. And so from here, we'll perform our operation and we are good. We'll perform our operation and we're good. So 24 multiplied by 0.31. Let's get it done. 4 times 1, that's going to give us 4. Then the 2 times the 1 will give us 2. So everybody, when we have a second line in multiplication, what do we always have to do? That's right. We place that 0. Who can tell me why we actually place a 0? Because again, we all know how to do it, but why? Why do we drop a 0? Who knows? Placeholder, because not single. All right, placeholder is the what, but not the why. It's like restarting the process, easier to calculate, I think. Alex, you're close. Muhammad, you were close. Yeah, so Muhammad's correct. Muhammad said because it's not single digit, you're looking at the tens digit now. So observe this, everybody. We worked with the 1 already. We did 4 times 1, 2 times 1. We're good. Everybody, what place is that? What place value is the 3 in? What place value is the tens place? Exactly. And so that's why you start at the tens place on the second line. As you move place value, you make sure to move place value when you're actually calculating. So that's why you call it a placeholder. That's why you are supposed to do it. It's because you're moving forward in place value and you need to move into that place. That's it. So here we are. 4 times 3, that's going to give us 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 gives us 6. Carry the 1, that's a 7. And now we can add, giving us 4, 4, and 7. Everybody, how many decimal places are we moving back now? Twice. So Frida, just making sure you know, the reason that we're doing twice is because, again, there's nothing here for us to do for the 24, but for the 31, we have 1, 2. 2 decimal places that we move back with. So we'll go 1, 2, giving ourselves 7.44 as the answer. So again, I really just want to make sure that we understand the reasons why. I got you. I really want to make sure we understand the reasons why. And so I'll give a couple seconds there to go ahead and finish copying that down. And we'll move on into this next example. And so for anybody here who's like, okay, we're going a little slow, don't worry, we're going to kick it up. I got you. I got you. So let's go ahead and go to 10% of 35. So with a question like this, everybody, I can tell you right now that if we start trying to use mental math, we can actually get this done snap of a finger. Snap of a finger. So with that, Mario, that's what we're doing. We are bringing the decimal down. Yeah, you might be doing it differently, but it's essentially the same thing. Yeah. So with that said, I got you, Stephanie. So with that, let's take care of 10% here. So let me just pause for a moment. Everybody, we said that 50% is the same thing as saying what again? Right, we said that 50% is the same thing as taking half. Okay, that's because 50 fits into 100 2 times, half, divide by 2. Now everybody, how many times does 10% fit into 100%? How many times? Right, 10% is a tenth of 100, because if you divide 100 by 10, you'll get 10%. So what does that mean we should do, everybody? Take that 35, divide it by 10. Now, why is that easy? Everybody think about it like this. If you divide by 100, you're moving the decimal place to the left 2 times. If you divide by just 10, how many times are you moving that decimal place? 1 time. 1 time. And so everybody, if we're doing 10% of 35, that's the same thing as saying this. Boom. 3.5. So let me give you a few more examples so you can really write this down and really understand this. If I said 10% of 72, that's going to be what, everybody? 7.2, because again, 10% is the same as dividing by 10. 50%, the same as dividing by 2. If we're doing 20%, that's the same thing as dividing by 5, because 20 fits into 100 5 times. So I'm going to show you all these rules in a moment here, but let's go ahead and go through a little bit of a speed round here. Everybody, I'm going to write something down and I want you to give me the answer. Go ahead and perform. What's that going to be? 10% of 1,250. What will that be? Boom. Parmita got it correct first. Oh, no, Marquette and Parmita said it at the same time. Muhammad said it first, so 125. Sorry, Muhammad, I'm not trying to steal your thunder, bro. Yeah, it's going to be 125. It's going to be 125, 125. Because remember, dividing by 10, move it once. 100, 2 zeros, move it 2 times. Divide by 1,000, 3 zeros, move it 3 times. And so here, you only need to move it 1 time. 125 right there. So I want to make sure that we understand that again. So let me just give you a twist here. Let me give you a little twist. So what if we did this? What if we did, what is 1% of 500? What would 1% of 500 be? What would that be? Let's see who knows. Because 10% is like dividing by 10. How many times does 1 fit into 100? 100 times. So that's dividing by 100. If we're dividing by 100, how many times do we move that decimal place? There we go. There we go, Pedro. Yes. We're going to move that decimal place over twice. 1% is the same as dividing by 100. And so we'll go 1, 2, bam, the answer is 5. 1% of 500 is 5. If you don't believe me, watch this. If we're performing 1% of 500, just check this out. If we convert the 1% to a decimal, everybody, what do? We move the decimal place over 2 times. So that'll give us 0.01 times 500. And so then from there, yeah, 5.0 is the same thing as 5. Yep, absolutely. And so here we have 0.01 times 500. So let's go ahead and put in that work. 0 times 1, everybody, is 0. 0 times 1, everybody, is 0. 5 times 1 is going to be 5. But what do we need to make sure we do? We need to make sure that we take care of the 1, 2 decimal places, 1, 2 decimal places. 5.00 or just 5. Did that open anybody's eyes up there? Exactly. So who was that? Who was that? Muhammad, yeah, absolutely. So you're thinking of advanced ways to play around and tinker with the numbers? Dude, do your thing. You definitely understand it that way. Keep asking if you're unsure, but that is absolutely correct. Absolutely. I'm going to refrain from showing it that way because, again, we're still trying to like understand these fundamentals. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, for sure, Krishan. I got you. So I'm going to show you in the next slide here again some of these tricks here. I got you. So I got you with the tricks. But again, 10% is literally like dividing by 10. 1% is like dividing by 100. 50% is like dividing by 2. It's all about asking yourself, how many times would that percent fit into 100? And that's how you'll divide. So everybody, 25%. Everybody, what is the English way of saying 25 cents? What's the English way of saying 25 cents? A quarter, right? 25 cents is a quarter. Everybody, a quarter, what is that? A quarter of something is like dividing by what? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. 1 second. Hey, Roscoe, you're snoring a lot, man. My dog is just like, you need to stop, bud. All right, so with that, yeah, a fourth, a quarter is a fourth. A quarter is a fourth. And think about this. Everybody, how many times does 25 cents fit into $1? How many times? Oh, look at that, 4. Again, a quarter fits into $1 4 times. And so to find a quarter of anything, you divide by 4. Again, one more time. I got you. Because a quarter or 25% fits into 100% 4 times. If we're saying find 25%, we're saying find a quarter of it, find a fourth of it, which is the same thing as dividing by 4. And so everybody, what is 44 divided by 4? 11. Don't believe me? Think that this is too good to be true? Don't worry, fam. My name's Anderson. No nicknames today. None of those crazy ones. Stop it. We're going to go ahead and get it done. So 25%, let me just move this to the side for a second. 25% of 44. Everybody, the 25% turns into what as a decimal? 0.25. So I'm going to go ahead and write that there. 0.25. Everybody, the word of turns into what? Multiplication, correct. 44 stays the same. So let's go ahead and put in the work now. Let's see what happens. We have 44 multiplied by 0.25. Okay. Notice how this is a lot of work, right? Notice we have 2 digits by 2 digits. We're going to have to put in the work, take the time to write this out. But if you understood that it was just a division of 4, booyah, we can get the answer 11 really quick. But again, let me prove the point to you. I got you. So help me out, everybody. Quick. What is 4 times 5? 4 times 5, 4 times 5. Go. Yep, 20, carry the 2. 2, and then we have again, 4 multiplied by 5 gives us 20. Carry the 2, 22. Great. Next. So what I'll do is I'll erase this and we'll go next. I'll grab purple. Everybody, 4 times 2. 4 times 2 gives us 8. Everybody, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I did it right, then erased it and did it wrong. Yeah, we're working in the tens place now, so we need to move it over to the tens place. So typically it used to be taught that you just don't write anything at all in that place, but people were getting confused. And so we said, just put a 0 there. That's where the placeholder part of it came from. That's where the placeholder part of it comes from. So then boom, we'll go ahead and take care of it here. 4 times 2 again gives us 8 again. All right, cool, great. Let's go and add these together. We're going to have now 0 plus 0, 0. Everybody, 2 plus 8. That's a little hard. 10, yeah. Carry the 1. Then 2 plus 8 is 10 again. Carry the 1. We have 11. Okay, and how many decimal places are we moving back now? Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, okay. The answer is 11. Oh, look at that. Our buddy over there in purple has been waiting for 12 minutes for us to work that out. And so now we're sitting here like, is there a faster way? That's really the question of the day. Because remember, everybody, the ASVAB is not about getting it right. It's about getting it right as efficiently as possible. Efficiency is the key on the ASVAB. Because it's not just one problem that you're doing a whole gang of problems that you need to get through. So yes or no, everybody, does it make a little more sense now that if we learn mental math with percents, we can save ourselves time? Right on, right on, right on, right on, right on, right on. Ryan, I'm proud of you there. I love that. And even if we're not quite getting it, it's okay. Because again, remember, I need to know if we're still kind of like hazy on it. I want to know what we do understand so that we can go ahead and work with what we don't. Krishan, there we go. Thank you for sticking with it. That's what's up. That's what's up there. So Arnell, do you have something to say? I'll go ahead and give you the mic, unless you were just raising your hand to agree.
Okay, you hear me?
Yes.
When looking at that problem, it say 25%, and 25% is 1/4. So when I'm looking at an average problem, if I broke it down like that, that'd be when I divide the 4 with the 44.
Yeah. So if it's saying 25%, if you see 25%, you can just divide by 4. Same thing.
When you break it down into a fraction, it's 1/4. So I take the 4 from the 1/4 and divide it into the 44 to try
Not quite like that. Not quite like that. So the way we want to think about it, Arnell, is like this. When you're thinking about a quarter, like in money terms, when you think about quarters, how many quarters make $1?
4.
4. That's where the 4 comes from. Because 25% is 1 out of those 4 quarters. So that's why you divide by 4, because you have 1 out of 4. If you think about 50%, think about it. If you have 50 cents, how many times can you put 50 cents in $1? That's 2. 50 cents, 50 cents, right?
Okay.
And so with 50%, you would divide by 2, because this 2 of those you can fit in $1. So that's the idea that we're playing with here. We're going to move forward here and kind of play around and tinker with this a little more. But even if you are confused, my party people, remember that you can still always do it the straightforward way. You can do it the straightforward way, no problem. It'll work. But even if, when we start getting used to it, we can start putting ourselves in a position to perform mental math. And so with that said, I want to take a second here to move forward and really show you guys these really convenient tricks when it comes to mental math. And so I know my big old head is in the way right here. Let me go ahead and make myself smaller for the brief moment. I got y'all. So let me go ahead and go, whoa. All right, there you go. So go ahead and please take a quick moment and either screenshot this or take a picture of it or write it down. But essentially, I'm going to show you here the conveniences. 1% is the same as dividing by 100. 2%, the same as dividing by 50. So let me pause right there. So remember, if you ask yourself, okay, I'm taking 2%. Well, the thing is, 2 fits into 100 50 times. And so that's why you divide by 50. You can also say, well, 100 divided by 2 is 50, so divide by 50. You can also say it like this. 1 fits into 100 times, divide by 100. You can say with 5%, 5 goes into 100 20 times. And that's why you would divide by 100. Or excuse me, divide by 20. I was looking at someone's comment at the same time. But yeah, you would divide by 20 with 4%. 4 goes into 125 times. And so you would divide by 25. It's really about noticing these conveniences. I know the easiest numbers to work with are going to be 1%, 2%, 10%, 25%, and 50%. Those are the easiest ones to work with for sure. But I'm going to show you how you can use the combinations of these really easy percents to get to any percent you need. I'm going to show you that coming up next. So in the next slide, I'm going to show you a couple more. But I'm really going to emphasize the importance of just knowing numbers, like understanding numbers. So there's that. And here is in green, 5% divide by 20 right there. So I'm going to give you just about 20 more seconds here. I know someone needed me to go back to screenshot the question that we did last. I got you. But give me a moment here. I got you, Nancy. Give me a moment. All right, calling it down from 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so quickly, Nancy, go ahead. I'm going to give you that screenshot for that last one right there. Go ahead. Nancy 5, Nancy 4, Nancy 3, Nancy 2, Nancy 1. And done. All right, cool. So we're going back here. Now I'm going to show you the next one here. So these are convenient percents, but now I'm going to show you, I got you, Nancy, the other ones. So these are more convenient ones with, again, mental math. Like we said, 10%, 100 divided by 10 is 10. So 10% is the same as dividing by 10. Same thing. When you think about 20%, well, 100 divided by 20 is 5. That fits in there 5 times. So that means you're dividing by 5. 20% is a fifth of 100. So you're taking a fifth of the number, dividing the number by 5. So you can think of it as working straightforward with that crazy multiplication and then decimals and all that stuff. Or if you understand how percents relate to division, bam, you can instantly save yourself those 20, 30 seconds without even putting your pencil to paper. So here, 20% divide by 5. If you look at 25%, we just looked at earlier, 25 is a quarter, a fourth, divide by 4. Divide by 4. And then lastly, yep, you're dividing by the denominator. Yep. And so then lastly, 50%. We all know 50% to be half. 50 is half of 100. 100 divided by 50 is 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. And so if you're looking at this saying, well, come on, coach, like you're giving us all the easy numbers, but what if the problem said like 3%? Or what if it said 6% or 11% or 29%, right? What if it gave you one of these weird numbers that aren't super convenient? Well, guess what? You can still do the regular way, 1 or 2. This is why I'm excited for today's class. I'm going to show you how to manipulate these convenient numbers to get to it. So I'm going to wait just 10, 15 seconds here. Exactly, Muhammad. That's exactly what I'm going to say. Yep. So I want everybody to, once we're done writing or taking a screenshot, I'm going to have everybody pause and take a moment because I'm just going to speak a couple of words. Just going to speak a couple of words here. And yeah. So everybody think about it like this. Here's what I want to really emphasize today. This is why today's going to be worth it if you are really here to, again, improve your timing on the ASVAB. So everybody, quick question. If I had you try to find, let's go ahead and say 3% with mental math. If I had you find 3% with mental math, everybody, do you see how 3% is the same thing as 1% times 3? Isn't 3% the same thing as 1% times 3? So if you had a weird problem, like let's go ahead and say, what is 3% of, let's go ahead and say 120? If you needed to find that very quickly, instead of setting up that craziness, really what you can do is you can find 1% and then times 3. Because everybody, Isn't it easy to find 1% of 120? What's 1% of 120 going to be, everybody? Do your thing. What's that going to be? Not 12. How many times do you move that decimal place dividing by 100? Twice. Yep. So that's going to be 1.2. And then if you times 1.2 by 3, everybody, what's 1.2 times 3? Oh, 3.6. So I just taught y'all mental math. You can thank me later, but you can do 3% of 120 in 5 seconds flat in your head. I'm just trying to teach you that. You can do it. Right now, obviously, it might not be as the flash of the mind. You still might have to think about it just a little bit when you start off. But I hope you really do see the convenience of this as opposed to doing this. Doing this. 0.03 times 120, 120 times 0.03. Then you do your work and you end up getting 360 at the end. I'm skipping steps already. And then you bring back the 2 decimals, 1, 2, and you still get the same answer. Really, all I'm trying to show you is it's very, very doable if you buy into the idea. Yes or no? Is this starting to make a little bit of sense here? And so I see here someone's asking about 9%. I got you. You direct message me, so I'm not going to say your name unless you're okay with me saying your name. But yeah, let's look at 9%. Like honestly, look, it still works. It still works. And it's okay if you want to do the long way. Again, I'm not here to force you to do it this way. I'm simply opening a door for you that you may not have known was open to begin with. So that's all I'm doing here today. So watch this. Let's say I'm looking for 9% of, let's go ahead and say 9% of, give me some random number, 80. Let's go and say 9% of 80. So everybody, if I wanted to find 9% of 80, all you have to do is just really, again, honestly ask yourself intuitively, kind of not common sense. I don't want to say common sense because it sounds like I'm patronizing you. I'm not. But think of it like this. 10%. How can I get to 9% knowing what I know? I can do 1% times 9. That is one way I could do it, right? Yes or no? And let me make a different page here to show you this. So if I wanted to do 9%, watch this. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. 9% of 80. Watch this. I can do 1% then times 9, because that would give me 9%. And if I did that, guess what? Everybody, what's 1% of 80? What's that going to be? What's 1% of 80? Right, remember, divide by 100 because you're doing 1%. Yeah, 1% would end up being 0.8. So then if you take 0.8 and multiply that by 9, well, then you can do it like this. In your head, everybody, what's 8 times 9? 8 times 9 is 72, but since it was 0.8, not just 8, because it was 0.8 times 9, what do we do with that decimal? Boom. And then you move it over once. So 72, move over one time, 7.2. That is one way you can do it. Let me show you an alternative way you can think about it. Everybody, is 9% not the same thing as 10% minus 1%? Isn't 9% 10% minus 1%? Is that not true? Could I do it that way if I wanted to? You absolutely can. 9% is just 1% less than 10. I think we can agree with that, right? 9% is just 10 minus 1. Cool. Let's explore the idea. Everybody, what's 10% of 80? That shouldn't be too difficult, right? What's 10% of 80? Yeah, that's just dividing by 10. 80 divided by 10, boom, we know that. That's 8. Everybody, what is 1% of 80? If 10% gives us 8, 1% would be 0.8. Yeah, it'd be 0.8. So all we have to do here is 8 minus 0.8. That's like the same thing as saying 80 minus 8, but then move the decimal back. Everybody, what would 8 minus 0.8 be? What would that be? Yeah, 7.2. If you're doing it on paper, you can say it like that. You can borrow the 1. 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 0 is 7. And you get the same answer. Boom. Do either of those make sense to you? The left side, the right side, or both? Which one of these methods makes sense to you? Because again, everybody, I'm not here to teach you what you already know. I'm here to expose you to the ideas that would really make your time with the ASVAB so much easier, as long as you practice and buy into these ideas. So which one is more sensical to you? I want to know. You prefer first, but both is good. You love both. A little throw off, but still got to learn. Hey, Stefan, it's all good. Again, that's what I'm here for. I'm challenging you to really, grow a little bit here. I got you. The left side makes more sense. Both, but you need more time. Perfectly fine, Vander. Perfectly fine. Left side, first one, both, left, left. So it looks like everybody at least prefers the left side, which is cool to see. So go ahead. What's up? How we doing, girl?
Okay, so I got a little lost. Where did you get the 0.8 from?
0.8 from right here?
No, on the left, the purple side.
Right here?
Like, yeah.
1%? Yeah. So what I got here was, think of it like this. We looked at our little cheat sheet here. And remember, you remember this part where 1% is the same as dividing by 100?
Yes.
Cool. So what I did was I said, hey, if we're going to be doing 1%, or if we want to get 9% of 80, that's the same thing as 1% times 9. Like, this makes it easier to do it in my head. And so 1% is the same as dividing by 100. So 80 divided by 100 would be moved to decimal place twice, 0.8.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I got you. So then what we did there was 0.8, the 1% of it, times 9, because 1% times 9 is 9. And that's what got us to 7.2. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense there. Yeah, I got you with that cheat sheet right there, Eduardo. Right there, boss. Here you go. There you go, sir. I got you. Yeah, and that's what it really is. Guys, you guys are absolutely spot on. It really is about practice. And let me get my big old head out the way. But yeah, it really is about practice. Because the thing is, I can teach you this day in, day out, but it's until you actually get the reps in, that's when it really matters. That's when it gets committed to memory. That's really it. So we've got to make sure, that's what we got to make sure. So Rantaja, great question. The question was, why is it not 0.08? Well, it's because we're taking 1% of 80, move the decimal place over how many times? Twice. So if we start right here, we have 1, 2. That's how you divide by 100, twice. So just want to make sure you understand that. If it was just 8, 1% would be 0.08. Yeah, it just takes some time. Yeah, you've got to work through those little pieces there. It's all good. But I'm telling you right now, if you can buy into this mental math idea, you're going to crush this. Absolutely crush this. Because everybody, watch this. If I'm doing 20% of 150, everybody, quick, what did I teach you? 20% is like dividing by what? Is like dividing by 5. You can multiply by 0.2, or you can just divide by 5. Everybody, what's 150 divided by 5? Or 15 divided by 5, then put the 0 back. Yeah, 30, done. Done. 20% is like dividing by 5. You can do that problem 5 seconds or less. Easy. But let me show you here. Again, let me prove it to you. I don't want you sitting here like, okay, he's just giving us answers. What is it? How does it actually make sense? Homie, I got you. So 150 multiplied by, everybody, 20% turned into a decimal gives us what? Right, 0.2, because you move the decimal place over 2 times. Watch. 1, 2. So 0.2. Okay. Now from here, and again, you can do 0.20 or 0.2. I remove that extra 0 at the end to not have to, count for additional things. So with that, everybody, here we go. We have 0 times 2 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 2 is 2. Carry the 1 is 3. Okay, how many decimal places are we moving back, everybody? 1 time right there. 1 time right there. Answer is Look at that. And we're good. And we are good. So is anybody who wasn't a believer before a believer now? What's up, Vander? How we doing, man? Go ahead.
So when you see the 0.2, so basically whatever that number is, that's how you move on the answer with the percentage when you're moving it, like the 2 or the 3 space, whatever is in the problem, that's the percentage at the bottom.
Yep, exactly. So let me show you this then. So if we're doing this, if we go like, let's say we do like, I don't want to give like a crazy number, but let's go ahead and say we're doing like 1.05 times 0.1. Let's say we're doing that, right? If we're doing something like this, man, we got, okay, we'll do 5 times 1, 0 times 1, 1 times 1. And then what you'll do is then count all of it together. Exactly. So you see here, we got 1, 2, 3. So we will move 1, 2, 3. The answer will be 0.105. So Vander, let me unmute you. Let me know if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. I will be honest. I've been watching. I don't want to take up like a lot of your time, just real quick. Since I signed up last weekend or whatever, I've been watching like all of your like class recordings and stuff just before this, because it's my first class. And like this right here has probably been the hardest to me. I mean, math is not my strong suit, but you make it make so much sense when you explain it. I'll be honest, because I'm writing this down. I'm not taking screenshots or anything. Mm-hmm. So it takes up my time for me not to understand while you're teaching. But I'm glad that you have your recordings for the next day. So tomorrow, everything that I write right now, I will be going over this tomorrow on your recording. So thanks.
Hey, right on, man. I appreciate you, man. And, I'm not a great teacher until you pass. All right. That's the way I'm going to keep it. That way, we don't get that false notion that I'm doing the work for you, because I'm not. I'm just exposing you to really what you already know, just moving the jigsaw pieces in a different way. That's really all I'm doing, man. And so I'm glad that you're receptive to it. I'm glad that you're learning. And everybody here who's feeling the same way, again, I appreciate you. I'm thankful to be able to teach you. Mohammed, go ahead, boss. And then I'll go with Sia, and then we're moving on.
So the reason why you divide on 5, just to get it in my mind, because 20% combine, you have to multiply 5 times. That's why you divide on 5.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Just try to get okay.
Yeah, because 20% is a fifth. 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
Is of 100.
I mean, 20 times 5 20s will make 100. So that's why you divide on 5.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because remember that the original of anything is 100%. So if I'm going from 100% to 20%, I've reduced it by a factor of 5, or I've divided by 5. And so that's the way I want you guys to see it, because when you finally get to see it that way, this becomes such a brand new world that you can work with. So Sia, happy Monday, Sia. How you doing? Go ahead. One more time. There we go.
Sorry, I couldn't get it off mute. Okay, so first question is, you did the 1%. So that means when you see anything that has 100, it means you divide by 1. I'm sorry, because I was thinking about.
No, perfectly stated. If you see, everybody think about this. If I say, yo, what's 100% of let's say 65? If I'm saying 100% of 65, well, what that means is, everybody, 100% of anything, isn't that the original number? And 100 fits into 100 one time. And so that means, yeah, that's just dividing by 1, because 100% of anything is the same exact number that you started with. Does that make a little, was that the question you had there, Sia?
Yeah, I was just kind of confused. I don't know. I just never seen it. Maybe I'm just brushed down on my math, but it's just kind of, I'm just kind of grips it right now. But then, yeah, I get that. And then the second one with the 5 one, so it's kind of similar to the first one, except it's with 5%.
So if we did 5%, 5 fits into 120 times. So if you're doing 5%, you divide by 20. If you're doing 20%, you divide by 5 because 20 is, again, you're asking yourself, how many times does this percent fit into 100%? So 20 fits into 100 5 times. And so here, I'm going to write it out actually, because I didn't write it out earlier. This right here, the shortcut would be to divide by 5 because 20% fits into 100 5 times.
Okay.
There's 5 of them. There's 5 of them. That's what I'm trying to say there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I could see it now better. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I'm glad. And so, Vander, did you still have your hand up? My bad, boss. I think I cut you off there. Let me go ahead and find you on the list, but we do need to move forward here. So please, again, any questions, keep them held until the next one. We'll go ahead, Vander.
No, I didn't rate. I didn't know how to work this. I just had my hand up and I realized I had to put it down. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. That's all good, man. All right, so here we go, gang. So 4% of 725. So if you have a question, again, raise your hand. I'll get to you as soon as I can, but I want to make sure the flow of the class is still a good pace for the majority of us. Okay, I got you. So, so with that said, 4% of 725. Let's ask ourselves, if we're going the shortcut way, everybody, what would we be dividing by? How many times does 4 fit into 100%? 25, exactly. Because remember, 4 times 25 is 100. And so what we can do here easily is divide by 100. Now, this is a problem that I put here on purpose to show you why you need to be fluid with both. You want to understand both in terms of how to just multiply the 4% and 725. And if you notice a convenience, going the other way, dividing by 25. This is an excellent example because can everybody divide 725 by 25 in their heads? Don't worry, I'll wait. Right? So that's the idea, right? But having that power allows you to understand which method is preferred or better, one way or the other. So if we go the normal way, if we say, hey, 4% of 725 and we multiply forward, everybody, 4% turns into what? 0.04, right? It turns into 0.04. And then we can go ahead and multiply that by the 725 and do our thing. But let me suggest a better way. Again, this is all about efficiency. This right here, that'll work. That will work. Let me propose a different way though. Everybody, didn't we say that 4%, isn't that the same thing as finding 1%, then multiplying it by 4? Isn't that one way we can think about it? Again, 4% is 1% times 4. And so just think about it that way because everybody, is it easier to take 1%? Yeah, what's 1% going to be of 725, everybody? What's 1% of 725 going to be? Again, move that decimal place over 2 times 7.25. So 1% is the same as 7.25. And then we can multiply that by 4. And we can get this done again in the same way. That's the same thing as this. It's literally the same exact way. It's the same thing. Just pick your poison, really. But if we do it, let's take care of it. 5 times 4, hit me, everybody. 5 times 4 gives you that 20. Place that 2 right there. All right, 2 times 4 gives you that. Gives you that 8. Add that 2, gives you a 10. Then 7 times 4, everybody, gives you 28. Carry that 1, gives you that 29. And so here, 1, 2 decimal places, 1, 2 decimal places. 29 would be the answer. So this is an example where mental math can guide you, but you will probably still have to write some things down in this situation, just given the complexity of the numbers. But I think that we can still look at this with confidence, knowing that, okay, it's just going to take a little bit of time, but we know how to get to it. Again, the purpose here is to first develop confidence and comfortability, then speed comes next. Oh, hell yeah, Edgar. Yep. Oh, excuse me. You can. Yeah. I got excited there. But yeah, you can do that every single time. You can do that every single time, man. If you're trying to find 15%, shoot. Find 10%, find 5%, add them together. Super easy. Because to find 5%, That's literally just 10% cut in half. And so you can use these ideas here to get yourself going in the right direction. But 29 will be the answer. So you always move the decimal place to the right, and then you replace it going to the left. To see that. Yeah, yep, exactly. That's correct, Stefan. Yeah, and Krishan, you're in the program, so you have access to literally over 400 problems and worksheets that you can practice your technique with, for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this one here. So this is an idea, exactly how I just said. Who remembers me saying 15% is the same thing as 10% and 5%? Who remembers me saying that? Hey, Vander, I'm glad you did too. I'm glad you trust me. Right? I just said this literally like 47 seconds ago. I said, yo, if we have a problem that's saying 15%, everybody, 15% is the same exact thing as 10% plus 5%, right? 15% is literally, and I'm doing this in my head. I'm doing this in my head. I'm saying, yo, 15% is 10 and 5 together. Everybody, what is 10% of 180? What is 10% of 180? 10% is dividing by 10. So 180 divided by 10 is just 18. Again, dividing by 10, move it once. If it's 100, move twice. Move the decimal as many zeros as you have. So 10, one time, 100, two times, 1,000, three times, 10,000, four times, and so forth and so forth. And so here, that's 18. Everybody, I'm going to trick you here. What's 5% of 180? How do you do 180 divided by 20? Can you do that really quick? Doesn't matter, everybody. Watch this. Everybody, if 10% is 18, 5 is half of 10. What is half of 18, everybody? What is half of 18? 9. Guess what? What's 18 plus 9, everybody? What's the answer going to be? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you spell your, right there. So this is why I love my job so much. It's really these moments where we can just keep picking up on these little things and really keep understanding it, honestly. I'm not the type of teacher that wants to just drill it into your head and move on with my day. Like, I really want you to understand this and wake up tomorrow like, yo, I still got it. Like, that's really what I want, all right? So with that, I'm going to take these two questions here from Steve and Vander, and then we will move forward here again. Steve, what's up, boss? Go ahead, Steve. One more time. Try to open up that mic. And Vander, go ahead, Vander.
Okay, can you just please go over this one more time for me, please?
Yeah, for sure. I know blew some minds. I got you. So Travis, and looking at you as well, Travis. Oh, congrats on signing up for the program. And by the way, Travis too. So here's what we did here. All I broke it down was, and Vander, keep your mic on, Vander, because I want to make sure that I'm getting the yeses and nos from you. So Vander, when we think about 15%, is it safe to say that 15 is literally the same thing as 10 plus 5?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I did. I started off with 10% of 180.
Okay, all right.
That's 18, right? You move that decimal place over one time. Nice and easy, actually. 10% is super easy. Now, think about how we get to 5%. There's two ways we could do that. In our trick, in our notes here, we said that 5% is like dividing by 20. But do I want to divide 180 by 20? Or you could do it like this. Vander, we could do this. We already know what 10% is. Vander, is it true that 5% is literally just half of 10?
Yes.
What's half of 18?
9.
Right there. So you see that similarity there. Percents are the same thing as proportions. Same thing. So if you do 10% to get 18, 5%, which is half of 10, you'll get half of 18.
See, this is what happens when I watch your videos, because you do explain things thoroughly, quickly, and efficient. But what happens when you do that is I curse at myself. And I'm like, what is this man talking about? Let me go back. I go back to your moment like 10, 20 times until I get it. It's these moments when I knew I had to be in your class for you to explain it to me. Now I understand. All right, I'm done.
You're here now, man. You're here now. I'm glad you are. You're here now. So look, you can't control the past, right? You can only appreciate the opportunity that you have now. So let's think about it like that, man. Let's think about it like that. Like, I can't complain that I wasn't a millionaire at 5 years old. You know, like, hey, circumstance. You can't be a millionaire at 5 years old. Just, you got to go through time, you got to go through experience, and then you move forward from there. So, and I'm not saying I'm a millionaire. I am not saying I'm a millionaire. Just want to make sure that's very clear. I mean, maybe next year, I don't know. But yeah, no. So with that, just want to make sure that you understand that you know, you can only try to appreciate more than you hate yourself. I've been there before, man. Trust me. You don't want to be, you don't want to put yourself in that position of the shoulda, coulda. No, just what can be, what can we do? Let's make the move. All right. You got this, man. So this one's a hard one. Everybody, what's the answer before I open my mouth? Yep. 240. Because 50% is literally half. It's dividing by 2. And so when you ask yourself, what's half of 480? That's a pretty convenient number. Half of 480 will be 240. And look at that. Boom, 240. So I don't want you guys to think of automaticity in terms of, oh, 50% of 480. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Okay. And then over here. Okay. Done. Like, I really don't want you to do that every single time. I want you to be able to just learn how to play around with numbers. That's what this is about. Learn how to play around with numbers. And so understanding that 50% is halfway to 100, divide by 2. Boom, done. Yeah, for sure. For anybody who's joining us a little later, I know that I saw like a few people come in later. One thing I will say, remember guys, you know, class starts at 6. I always wait until 6:03, 6:04, and we have a little introduction. We start at 6:15, but I do really beg you guys to show up at 6. Even beforehand, 5 minutes before. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, again, I'm not responsible for any things that you miss out on. And I don't want to sound like that a-hole, but like, this is where I got to be stern about it. I want you guys to have the best experience possible. And it starts with showing up on time. If you can. I know you have work, family commitments. I understand. So if you can help it, please try to show up on time if you can help it. So there's that right there. Hey, no worries, Frida. So if you want to start by memorizing and then coming back to understand, making sure you come back to understand, just worry about the highlights. 1% is dividing by 100. 2% divide by 50. 4% divide by 25. And we can work on that. Same thing with you, Karen. Same thing with you. If you want to start off by memorizing, just promise me that you'll hit me up and we'll keep working through text and email to understand how it actually works. So here's the other chart. I'll give you 10 seconds to take a picture. I'll give you 10 seconds. That's all I can give you. Because now we got some practice problems to do. We got some practice to do. We're going to have a good time. Hey, it's all good, Brian, because that means that you didn't blank out in the beginning part. So that's already progress. That's already progress. Are you going to share this on YouTube? So I look back. Remember that these recordings, sometimes I will put out a recording on YouTube here and there, but I got to keep it fair for the people that have paid for this program. All of the recordings are available as part of the full program. I will talk about that at the end. I don't want to cut into anybody's learning time right now. I will talk about the program at the end, where you can literally get over 230 recordings that are already available, instant access, along with thousands of practice problems. I'll talk about that more at the end. So those were the first 4 problems. Let's take care of 2% of 36. Everyone, let's go ahead and check this one out here. 2% of 36. Krishan, let me know what part you want me to go back to, and I'll go back after this. So 2% of 36. Everyone, what's one way that you can do this in your head? Type it out into the chat box, because there's like 4 or 5 different ways you can do this. One, obviously, is the straightforward way, but what are you thinking in your head, everybody? What are you thinking? 1% times 2. Parmeet just said 7.2, bro. I'm good. Divide by 50. Move over to decimal. 0.02 times 36. That's another great way. These are all great ways right now. Gotcha, Krishan. I got you. I'll go back to it. Just give me some time. I got you. But yeah, so those are some good ways. So 2 of the main ways, or 3 of the main ways. that we'll see here are going to be the following ways. We can do 0.02 times 36. That is the surefire way to do it, as always. You can do 1% and then times 2. That's another way to do it. And you can also see it as a division of 50. Those are all 3 ways, are very valid ways. The only one I would advise against, this one. I would advise against dividing 36 by a number bigger than itself, 50, because that may give you a little extra work to do in that long division. Still valuable, still doable, but it would just probably take a little more time. Just want to throw that out there. So let's go ahead and go through the first 2 ways, just to kind of, again, explore what this looks like. So here, 0.02 times 36. So we just go ahead and do this. And what we'll do, let me just zoom in a little more because I know some people are using their phones. So we'll do 6 times 2. Everybody, 6 times 2 gives us, correct, it gives us 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 gives you 6. Carry the 1 gives you 7. And so right there, we'll have ourselves move once, move twice, move once, move twice. So we have 0.72 as the answer. Now it'll work the same way if we do it with the orange method here. In orange, what we can do, well, ask ourselves, everybody, what is 1% of 36? 0.36. So we'll get 0.36 for 1%. And we will then multiply that by 2. Notice how it's the same thing. Notice how it's the same thing. It's just that the 36 has the decimal and the 2 does not anymore. Literally the same thing. You're just looking at it in a different way, but it's the same thing. And so from there, 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 2 gives you that 6. Carry the 1 is the 7. And we do the same thing. 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, 0.72. Boom. And so which way do you prefer? Did you prefer to go the straightforward way on the left or the slight mental math way on the right? Again, it's the same act. It's the same operation, same order. Just looks a little different. Just looks a little different. My goal is to have the majority of us here prefer the right side. Like this is really what got me through the SAT and lightning time. Even though you get a calculator in the SAT, there were times where I was able to do it faster than the calculator because the numbers were convenient. And so this got me a really good score in the SAT. So go ahead, Mohammed.
So my question was about the question before that. No, not that one. The one before. Okay. So let's say I have 17%. Is it convenient as 10% plus 5% plus 2%?
Yes, absolutely. That's the perfect way to do it. Perfect one. Yep. Yeah, if you got 19%, try to do 20% minus 1%. If you got 23%, do 20% plus 3%. Yeah, yep, exactly. It's all about mixing it up. All about mixing it up, for sure. For sure. Krishan, my bad. I'm looking back at your request earlier over here. My bad. I'm trying to look back. I'm trying to look back to the 1% then times 9. So Krishan, just to show you real quick. Oh, that's way back, bro. That's way back. Look for the recording on that one. I'm sorry. We just went way past that one a while ago. My bad. So here, 30% of 4,800. After this one, Kabango, I'll take your question after this one. So if we look at 30% of 4,800, everybody, what's another way to write this? Go ahead, type it out. What's another way that you would type this? 0.3 times 4,800. I appreciate that. That is a correct way. What's another way? What's another way? So 0.3 times 4,800. That is absolutely one way to do it. You could say 0.30 or 0.3. They both work. But what is another way, everybody? What's a mental math way that we could write this? Parmita, you got an idea here? Let's go. Kurt, go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I did is that I looked at the 30%. I was like, okay, 20%. And then I can do 10%. So 20% That's like basically like 5 of them. That's 2,400. And then I find out what 10% was. That's 480 because you only move it once.
Gotta stop you there. So
Oh.
the 2,400, that'd be 50%.
That'd be 50%. Oh, okay.
Because that'd be half.
Yeah.
Be careful there. I love how you started with a 10.
Yeah, because I did it half and then I got 2,400 for 20%.
That's 50%.
Oh,
Because
that's
cutting it in half, think about it.
Yeah.
Cut 100 in half, that's 50. That'd be 50%.
Oh, that'd be 50%. Okay.
Yeah.
But I got the
let's explore
20%.
though. Parmita, let's explore real quick.
Okay.
Can you get to 30% from one of those convenient percents, like 10%? What do you do to 10% to get to 30?
Wait, sorry, say it again. You were breaking out.
What do you multiply? I love the excuse. What do you multiply 10 by to get 30?
3.
So is it fair that we find 10% then times 3?
Yeah, we can actually do. Holy shit, I didn't know that. My bad.
Hey, this is recorded. This is recorded.
Sorry, I didn't know.
It's all good. I love the excitement. So let me just go ahead and do a little timestamp there, 7:29. All right, so hey Siri, edit 7:29 p.m. Set a reminder for that. Thank you. Cool. All right, so with that, you're good, Parmita. This is a quick edit. It's a quick edit. It's all good. So here, yeah, we can end up doing this like this. 10% times 3. That is the same thing as 30%. So both of these methods will work. So let's just go ahead and show here. That's not a big L, man. You're good. Parmita, you're good. So with that said, we got 4,800 times 0.3. Boom. So with that, all right, let's do the math here. 0 times 3, 0. 0 times 3, 0. 8 times 3, 24. That means a different color there, 2. And then we have ourselves 4 times 3, which is 12. Bring the 2 on board, we get 14. And from here, we just had to move the decimal place one time. So we have 1,440. Boom. So we can look at it like that. Or we can also see 10% times 3. So we know that 10%, everybody, what is 10% of 4,800? 10% divided by 10, just move it over one time. So that's 480 times 3. So if you think about it that way, we have 480 times 3, and we put in that work, and we get 0 times 3, 0. 8 times 3, 24. Carry the 2, 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 2, 14. So notice the difference between these two problems, everybody. So raise your hand if you have a question. I got you. I'll get to you. So notice the difference between this one here and that one over there. Just notice the clear difference. Notice how with this one, you're still dealing with a decimal. Up here, you were able to avoid that. Now, we still took the same number of steps. The exception was we had to account for the decimal there. This one, we did not have to account for the decimal. So everybody, is it making sense that even though this and here, same exact number of steps, does it make sense that this was still easier because we didn't have to deal with the decimal? In terms of realizing, oh, I got to move it back at the end. I got to make sure to move it back. How many times to move it back? Because, and the reason is we did 30%. The person that just asked that, we did 30%. We started off with 10% and we multiplied by 3. 10% times 3 is 30%. And that's how we got there. So we just have to start with some mental math there. So Kabango, go ahead. What are we doing? Oh, I see that you do not have a mic connected, so I can't take your question. Type your question out. I got you. Type your question out if you want it. Go ahead, Shan.
Okay, is it possible I can just cross the zeros out, like out of 30 and 4,800? Because because there's zeros and it's just best to cross them out to make it shorter and easy.
Oh, yeah. So if you look at one of my previous recordings on this, actually, if you look at the one from September 20th, so go to percents, go to September 20th, what you'll find is I actually teach the same exact lesson, but in a different way. I actually explore it in the manner of, instead of dividing the 30 by 100, divide the other number by 100, and I knock out the decimals. And this is the same thing as saying 48 times 30. But I'm not going to get too far into it because I'm not going to try to teach you like 72 different ways to do something. I focused on that method in that class, and I'm focusing on this method in this class. But yep, you're absolutely right. Yes, you can.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then go ahead, Dave. What's going on, man?
Okay, coach, hold on. You just been rocking my brain cells back to back ever since the start of this class. Cause I am trying to start. I'm trying to get the okay. I'm trying to get the faster way, really, because I get the left one, cause the left. But I'm trying to get the faster way. Now 10%. Now I see the arrow going down to the 480. How exactly did we get to that point? Because I know 10% times 3, that's 30%. I mean,
Right.
I
the
get
way
that
we
part.
10% here is because of this. Remember, the cheat sheet that we used was 10% means divide by 10. So if you divide a number like 4,800 by 10, the easiest way to do that is just to knock out one of those zeros.
Oh, I'm stupid. What the heck?
None of that self-hate though. Like for real though, that's really what we do. That's the clearest way to do it. So now you know. And now it's just really a matter of practicing to the point where we make that mistake less. Is that it? It's that simple. It's that simple. I know it's not easy to see at first, but once we actually have it down, like we're good. So,
Yo, coach, you the truth. I appreciate you.
I mean, again, guys, like I love the compliments. I do appreciate it, and I may, kind of blow my head up after class. But in class, I want to make sure that you guys see me as a humble dude because I am. And it
Right.
is no matter of being like the greatest teacher in the world. I'm just trying to help a million people, and I'm glad that this is actually communicated well to you. I'm glad it makes sense. So with that, let's take a look at this here. Now, I'm looking at a couple of these, and I really want you to try mental math with this one here. Try this one mentally, and I want you to try this one mentally. The other two, if you can see how to do them mentally, hey, try them out. But I'm telling you right now, I can guarantee you that the 99% one and the 55% one, these two right here, are doable with mental math. Those two are going to be harder with mental math. Do them straightforward. So I'm going to give you guys, everybody, I'm going to give you, how much time is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 problems. And since we're all starting for the first time here, 40 seconds a problem, I'll give you 4 total minutes for this. That makes no sense. It's 160. I should be giving you 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm wild. All right, let me go ahead and get my timer up, and I'll go ahead and put that time up here. I'll just round it up to 3. I'll give you 4 minutes. Screw it. Yeah. So I'll give you guys 4 minutes to try this out. Again, if you do it one way and you're all done, try to explore how to do it mentally. We'll go over them together. Gotcha. And I want to give you harder numbers because obviously the test is not always going to have rainbows and sunshine for numbers. They're going to have numbers like this. So do your thing. Go ahead. We got this. So 13% of 138 inches. So when you look at this, if you're trying to do this mentally, so let me just show you like how to be responsible with mental math. Like this is really, it's not just about, oh, I know mental math. It's knowing when to use it. Okay. It's knowing when to use it. It's knowing when to use a bike versus a car to get to a certain place. It's knowing when you need a plane ticket or a ship ticket or a boat ticket. That's a ship. A boat ticket versus using your skateboard or your rollerblade. That's really what mental math is. Understanding what fits best for the situation. And if I'm looking at 13%, already an awkward number, of a 3-digit number, 138, would it be wise to try to do that mentally? Yes or no? No, it wouldn't be wise to try to do that one mentally. And this is where you just have to say, hey, just do it straight up. Everybody, nice and easy. 13% turns into what? David, correct yourself. 9 Not you're good. David corrected 0.13. Yep, 0.13. And yes, Mohammed, I know that you and I could both do it mentally. I know, but we're talking about just getting that experience here, while we're coming up, right? Because Mohammed, I know you're good with numbers. I know you're good. But here, it would be responsible to do this by hand, given the amount of digits you have to deal with. And so now here, all you would do is actually multiply. 138 multiplied by 0.13. Quick, how many times are we moving the decimal place back when we're done? Quick. How many times are we moving the decimal place back when we're done? Yeah, twice. And so I think Mohammed's question was, or no, why not 1 times 3? Because this is 13%. This would be 1 times 13, basically, which in that case, you're doing the same thing. And so here, we're going to do our math now. 8 times 3, 24, carry the 2. 3 times 3 is 9, carry the 2 is 11. 1 times 3 is 3, carry the 1 is 4. Bring down the 0. 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. Added together, we have ourselves a final answer of 4971. Moving that decimal place back once, twice, and we have ourselves 17.94. Correct or incorrect for you personally? Right on. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, feels good, feels good. All right, and if you were incorrect, it's all good. David, what was your mistake? Call yourself out. What was your mistake? Was it just, did you put 0.23 accidentally? What happened? Again, it's good to call yourself out. We're fine. Now let's look over here. So let's try this one out. 99% of 150. And okay, so with that, 99% of 150, what we're going to do here is you can think about it 2 ways. You can think about this as 0.99 times 150, which would, again, it would look like, let me just erase this over here. 1 second, everybody. All right, so this would look like 150 times 0.99. Who did it this way? Go ahead. Give me yes or no. Did you do it this way? Did you do it that way? 150 times 0.99. No shame, right? No shame at all in doing that. No shame at all. But I want to actually ask everybody something. Everybody, question. Isn't 99% the same thing as 100% minus 1? This is my, you like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward face. That's my face right there. Yes, you can. What you can do is you can take 100%, subtract 1%. Nice and easy. Here it is right here. You can take 100% and subtract 1%. What are those numbers, everybody? Watch and learn. Everybody, what's 100% of 150? Hey, it's just 150, right? 100% of 150 is that number. 100% is the number. And so that's just 150. But everybody, what is 1% of 150? What is 100? What is 1% of 150? 1%. 1%. Take the 150, move the decimal place over how many times? Yeah, twice. It'll be 1.5. And if you're thinking about money, you can say $1.50 if you wanted to. But I want to prove a point here, everybody. So again, 100% minus 1%, you're literally saying 150 minus $1.50. You want to know how easy this is? Well, guess what? Last week, we did mental math with addition and subtraction. Everybody, what do we do here? We split and glue. I'm going to split this $1.50 into take $1 away, then take 50 cents away. Everybody, what? $150. 150, take away $1. Where are we at? Take away $1 from 150. We're at 149. Yeah. Then take away the 50 cents. $149 minus 50 cents is $148.50. We can do this in our heads if we trust the process. My iPad just froze. Give it a second. Give it a second. Typically takes a quick moment to I think I just surprised my iPad. All right, let me go ahead and stop the screen sharing and do it again. Come on. Si se puede. There it is. Cool. Boom. But bam, there it is. So all I wanted to show you here is that, look, if you're doing 99%, it's so close to 100%. So just take that number, take 1% away, and you can do it in your head. Because you're looking at 150 minus $1.50, take the dollar away, 149, take the 50 cents away, 148.50. Done. Did that make sense to anybody right here? Does this make sense or blow anybody's mind here? Right on. Right on. Again, guys, remember, you can do both ways, the black over there or the purple over here. It will work regardless, but which way was faster if you're comfortable. So I'm not assuming everybody's comfortable right now. I'm not assuming. Yeah, for sure. I got you, Canary. So let's try it out here. Look, we'll get the same answer. 0 times 9 gives you 0. 5 times 9 gives you 45. 1 times 9 gives you 9. Then you add the 4, gives you 13. Next, we'll carry the 0. 0 times 9 gives you 0. 5 times 9 gives you 45. 1 times 9 gives you 9. Add the 4 gives you 13. Add it all together, and we'll receive 0, 5, 8, 4, 1. Then we'll take 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places. Our answer is $148.50. And this is where I'll place that mean with 2 Spider-Mans looking at each other like, yeah, same answer, just 2 different ways. Just 2 different ways. Just 2 different ways. They're both very, very plausible ways. So, boom. Spidey sense. All right, let's go through these other 2 here. Let's go through these other 2 here. So next up, what we have here is 23% of 84 minutes. So with this one here, so 23% of 80. Oh, what? Oh yeah, like last time here. Last time for this one. I got y'all. Last time. So with the 99% here, what you can do is, again, you can start off with 100%. Just take away 1. 99 is 100 minus 1. And so all you need to ask yourself is, what's 100%? 150. 100% is always the original number. 1% though, that's where you take that decimal place 1, 2, 150 turns into 1.5 or $1.50. So if you subtract here, Krishan, you can subtract the 1 first to get 149, then subtract the 50 cents to get 148.50. So just breaking it down and piecing it back together right there, as opposed to actually writing this all out. So that's the clear difference. You're writing all of this out to do this way, whereas this is all mental. You get the same result, huge number, but it makes sense when you actually do it. So for Sean, hopefully that helps out. But I got to blast through these last 2 because we're running out of time, and I want to make sure I get everybody here out of here on time. I got y'all. So 23% of 84 minutes. Again, this is one of those situations where if you wanted to use mental math, one way I would recommend would be 25% minus 1% minus 1%. But obviously, I didn't suggest that at first because it might be a little difficult for people to realize that 23% is 25 minus 1 minus 1. Why did I pick 25%? Because 25% is a quarter. And if you notice, 84 is divisible by 4. So that's why you could do it that way. But again, it takes practice to realize how you can play around with numbers. I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to move it to the side. That will absolutely work, but I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to do it the regular way. 0.23 times 84. I'm going to do it that way. If you want to check that out on your own, please do. So here, 84 times 0.23, and just put in that work. Here we go. 4 times 3 gives us 12. 8 times 3 gives us 24. Carry the 1, 25. Next, carry the 0. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Add these together. You get 2. 13, carry the 1. 9, 1. and you move that decimal place 1, 2, 1, 2. 19.32. 1932 would be your answer. Hit me with a year if you got it right. Cool. Sounds good. And then moving into this last one over here, moving into this last one. Let's go here. All right, so 55% of 90. Who did this straight up? Who did this mentally? Go ahead. Who did this straight up? Who did this mentally? Straight up, mentally. This one straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up, mentally, straight up, mentally, straight up, straight up. I love it. We're gonna have a little balance going on here. I like it. So let's go ahead and do this one here. And then Jose, I'll take your question right at the end here. So 55% of 90. Again, you can perform 0.55 times 90. That will absolutely work. But if you notice, this is 50% plus 5%. Yes or no? Is that true? 55% is 50% and 5%. Well, yeah, it is. And guess what? Everybody, 50% of a number is the same thing as saying what? Of any number. 50% of any number is the same as doing what? Yeah, same thing, half. Yeah, 50% is the same as saying half of the number. And so everybody, what's half of 90? What's half of 90? Yeah, half of 90 is going to be 45. Right there. Half of 90 is going to be 45. And then if you ask yourself, well, what's 5%? Well, guess what, everybody? You don't need to figure out what 5% of 90 is. Because of this, you already have 50%. Everybody, how do you go from 50% to 5%? What do you divide by? What do you divide by to go from 50% to 5%? 10. Everybody, what's 45 divided by 10? What's that going to be? What's 45 divided by 10? That is 4.5. Everybody, in your head, what's 45 plus 4.5? What is that going to be? 45 plus 4.5. Be careful with the decimals. What you're doing here is you're adding 4 to 45 and then the 0.5. So 4 plus 45 is 49. Add the 0.5 and you get 49.5. Again, think of it like this. 45 plus 4.5. This is what you're seeing. Be careful there. Be careful. That's what you're seeing over there. 45.0 plus 4.5. But with mental math, you can get that done lightning fast because you can say 45 plus 4.5 gets you 49.5 and boom, you're good. So did anybody give me, only if you did it this way, if you did it this exact way, give me a yurt in the chat box. Only if you did it that exact way. Ooh, Joe Marie, what's up? Devin, yeah? Right on, man. Chinisa, is it, how you pronounce that? Oh, Chinasa, okay. Chinasa, sounds good. If I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, just call me a bum. All right, so boom. All right, so Jose, I'll take your question first, and then Shan, I will take yours second. What is up, Jose, man? How you doing?
Good, and you? I was gonna ask you, Coach, but I know class is gonna end. I thought we were gonna do out of, but we were doing of the whole time, of dividing too.
I got really excited, and we weren't able to get to the backwards. We are actually
I wanted a more
right here the whole time, but I took it upon myself. I made the decision to continue this way because everybody was really into this one, which only means that I will host another class only for backwards.
All right, I just wanted that.
I got you. I just got really excited, man. Y'all were really into this. Yeah, my bad. And so with that, Shan, do you still have a question? Yeah, tomorrow we actually are doing it again. Tomorrow we are doing percents. We're doing word problems though. So I'm going to show you a lot of word problems to deal with where we're going to apply these mental math principles. Yeah. Hey, that's why we got to do it, right? That's why we got to do it. So Shan, you're the last person that I'll take a question for because you did have a question. So let me find you here. So go ahead, Shan. There we go. I gave you the mic. And if you are interested in the program, stay till the end. I will talk to you about that. Okay. Go ahead, Shan.
Okay, quick question. How do you get a 45 like you know, like above 50, how did you turn it to 45?
Yeah, because we're doing 50%. Remember that 50% means half, right?
Uh-huh.
So we did half of 90.
50% means half.
Yeah, 50% means half. So we did
Okay.
half of 90. Half of 90,
Okay.
45.
Okay.